sentencing expected to be handed down this morning in the crimen injuria case of businessman Adam Catzavelos in the Randburg Magistrates Court. Catzavelos pleaded guilty to crimen injuria in December last year following 2 unsuccessful bids to have the charges withdrawn. The case follows a self-recorded video of Catzavelos in which he utters the K word multiple times while on holiday in Greece in August 2018. For more on this, Criselda Lewis has been covering the story for us. She is now at the Randburg Magistrates Court. Let's get an update from her. Criselda, good morning to you.
Well, Leanne, it is a D-Day for Adam Catzavelos. He will, of course, learn today his fate here at the Randburg Magistrates Court. Well, we're expecting sentencing to get underway last week already, just after the sentencing arguments were completed. You recall, of course, during the proceedings last week, you saw Seth Mazibuko from the Seth Mazibuko Foundation in Soweto, where Adam Catzavelos is doing his community service. You'd remember that was part of the settlement that was reached with the Human Rights Commission, in addition to a monetary settlement of 150,000 rand. We saw Seth Mazibuko take the stand last week, indicating that it would not be in the best interest for Adam Catzavelos to be sent to jail. He believes that Adam Catzavelos is a changed man, and quite surprisingly there, Leanne, as well, Adam Catzavelos himself taking the stand again in mitigation of sentence, his last-ditch attempt to stay out of jail, in which he apologized to South Africans once again. But he came under intense scrutiny, under cross-examination from the state, in that, for example, it was asked why he had apologized on the stand and did not use the very same platform on social media to apologize to South Africans for using the derogatory K word. So it'll be very interesting to see here this morning what the court will decide. But I must say, Leanne, last week during those sentencing arguments, the presiding magistrate seems to be very unperturbed by the apology that Adam Catzavelos had given, in that she'd asked him several questions about where he'd learned to use that word. Did he understand the repercussions of his actions and how black South Africans felt about him using the K word? Despite numerous attempts to apologize on the stand, he really did come under intense scrutiny. So you would recall as well the EFF, this was the EFF's case that was brought here to the Randburg Magistrates Court. Mandisa Mashiro taking the stand last week as well, basically calling on the courts to criminalize racism, saying that if racism would be criminalized in South Africa, she would expect Adam Catzavelos to spend nothing less than 10 years in jail. So at this stage, it really remains to be seen whether this court will impose a fine or whether there will be some jail time for Adam Catzavelos. You'd recall, of course, that this is not the first case relating to these kinds of remarks that have been made in South Africa. So everyone will be watching what this court will decide. You'd remember the former COO of Busasa, Angelo Agriti, who was simply fined as a result of using the K word. Vicky Momberg as well, you would recall. She had used the K word more than 40 times against a police officer. So what many South Africans are basically calling for at this stage is that this court needs to set an example of Adam Catzavelos. So it really will remain to be seen this morning exactly what this court will decide. The state also saying last week that it would leave the decision in terms of what should be decided to the courts. It would not really want to dictate to the court what it should impose, what sanction it should impose, but certainly does remain to be seen what will happen in this court here today. He's usually accompanied by his lawyer. They usually arrive here at the court just a few minutes apart from each other. He has not yet arrived at the court this morning. Neither has his lawyer. But certainly you can see that the media contingent itself is quite picking up. Leanne, we'll leave it there for now. We'll certainly bring you up to speed about what happens later on here on the channel. We will have that sentencing live here on the SABC News Channel 404.